The week's top stories at NBR, including money remitters taking legal action against the Reserve Bank and Minister of Finance, Mercedes-Benz to roll out a new selling model, iwi takes stake in investment bank, and there's more coming right up. Kia ora and welcome to NBR This Week, 100% subscriber funded and proudly brought to you by you, as is every story at nbr.co.nz. Now, a look back over the week's top stories for the first week of April 2022 from our daily video business news bulletin, NBR Today. I'm Paul Brennan. Thanks again for joining us. From Monday, Air New Zealand trading issues. After getting off to a rocky start this morning, Monday morning, Air New Zealand writes are trading correctly, according to an NZX spokesperson. The airline shares went ex-rights today, Monday, and saw a correlating drop in value. But trading in the rights themselves was halted due to administrative errors at the NZX. NZX identified administrative errors and steps were taken immediately to correct them to ensure market integrity was maintained. NZX can confirm no rights were traded during this time, said a statement which was delivered at 2:30 p.m. Monday. According to NZX's website, there has been no trading in the rights so far. It's NBR This Week, the week's top 5 business stories from NBR's daily video business news bulletin, NBR Today. From Tuesday, money remitters take legal action. 3 Pacific Island money remittance firms are taking legal action against the Reserve Bank of New Zealand and the Minister of Finance in a bid to force the country's major banks to provide them with banking services. The companies Ink Patch Money Transfer, Samoa Money Transfer and ClickX each provide remittance services for customers to send money from New Zealand to the Pacific Islands. But since mid-2013, the companies have been reporting entities under the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering Financing of Terrorism Act, alongside banks, insurance companies, financial services and casinos. They claim that following the legislation, the country's major trading banks have refused to open new business bank accounts for them and have closed the bank accounts they already had in a blanket de-risking process because of the view that money remittance is a high-risk activity in terms of AML compliance. They also claim that those actions were taken following guidance issued by the RBNZ and created difficulties for the businesses during COVID-19 when they required a business bank account to receive any wage subsidy support. It's NBR This Week, the top business stories from NBR Today. From Wednesday, agency selling model to be rolled out by Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz is rolling out a controversial agency selling model to New Zealand, despite the new arrangement sparking an Australian $650 million lawsuit in Australia. Independent Australian Mercedes dealers have joined forces to sue the German automotive giant over its decision to axe the dealership model in favour of an agency model where dealers sell on behalf of the marque rather than hold stock. Australian dealers say the abrupt change undermines millions of dollars of investment in their dealerships and was done without negotiation. John Ingham, principal of the Ingham Motor Group, which has 4 local Mercedes dealerships, confirmed the German maker was planning to move to an agency system as it has done in Australia. He said they are aware that the world is changing and things are done differently and will embrace it, but are a little bit nervous about how it will pan out. This is NBR This Week, the week's top 5 business stories from NBR's daily video business news bulletin, NBR Today. From Thursday, iwi takes stake in investment bank. Iwi Group Ngāti Toa has taken a cornerstone stake in Wellington-based investment firm Armillary Private Capital, which advised it on several large transactions over the past few years. Te Runanga o Toa Rangatira, the operating arm of Ngāti Toa Rangatira, and iwi based in the Lower North Island and Upper South Island, has taken a 30% stake in Armillary. The price paid was undisclosed and directors said this would remain confidential. The two have developed a relationship over the past few years, which started when Armillary Joint Managing Director Leon Grandi was appointed Te Runanga's Paul Putia Treasurer during the first COVID-19 lockdown in 2020. Armillary Joint Managing Director David Wallace told NBR the investment would strengthen Armillary's balance sheet and help it grow the number and size of transactions they're involved in. Immediately, he said, more employees can be hired to boost its 11 staff. This is NBR This Week. Now we're up to Friday's top story. A Christchurch-based company, its founders believe to be the rocket lab of plant protein, has raised $22 million in a Series A funding round, led by one of the space company's biggest investors, Silicon Valley's Koshler Ventures. Leafed Foods, founded by Dr. John Penno and Maury Leyland Penno and led by Chief Executive Ross Milne, has also added NBA basketballer Steve Adams, Ngāi Tahu Holdings via their new economy mandate, and ACC's Climate Change Impact Fund to their shareholder roster as a result of the funding round. The Leyland Pennos retain 70% of the company. Koshler has taken 26%, Ngāi Tahu 1.6%, and ACC 1.3% of the company, which would not disclose its current valuation. The full details of those stories and more are at nbr.co.nz right now. This weekend at NBR, Sunday, in his weekly book review, Neville Gibson looks at controversial journalist and author Christopher Hitchens. I'm Paul Brennan. Join me again from around lunchtime Monday for Monday morning's NBR Trending Stories, then again right here from 5:30 Monday for another NBR Today.